Peter Taylor, the Lazy Project Manager, talks social project management for projectmanagement.com, powered by PMI.
Hi there, my name is Peter Taylor, but you may know me through my alter ego, the author of The Lazy Project Manager. But today I'm not talking about lazy project management, I want to talk to you about social project management. This is an emerging and evolving world, and through this series of videos we will together explore this world, this exciting world, and what opportunities it can bring us as project managers. But there is a challenge. We have to find out a way of balancing the social collaborative world with the need for centralised control and governance in this very project driven world. So join me and explore the world of the social project manager. So we human beings are social beings. We come into the world as a result of others' actions. We survive here in dependence on others. Whether we like it or not, there is hardly a moment of our lives when we do not benefit from others' activities. For this reason, it's hardly surprising that most of our happiness arises in the context of our relationship with others. The Dalai Lama. An interesting thought. So in this episode we're going to look at the past, the present, and of course look at the possible social future. If we start with the past of project management, this has been explored many times, but I talk about it in a way of describing four phases that we've gone through in project management. There was the very early prehistory and early history evolution of project management. It certainly wasn't called project management, of course, but this is very organic. This is the incredible civilizations that grew and developed phenomenal structures around the world, the pyramids, the Stonehenge of the world, etc. Now clearly they weren't operating under project management regime, but they clearly understood some of the principles that we now refer to as project management. Project management for many begins in the 1950s, where it's very much about process and tools and all of those wonderful things that we know and love, such as critical path, etc. It came about at that point in time. And then I described towards the end of the 20th century as a period of kind of attitude and behaviour. It was taking all of those tools but applying certain behavioural adjustments to the world of project management. And if you ask me to describe project management now, I believe we're in the fourth phase. And that phase is a phase of complexity and criticality. The projects that we do, the projects that we manage now are critical to businesses around the world, and often, in many cases, I hear from project managers that the complexity of what they are being asked to manage and deliver has risen and risen over the years. And if we think about the present right now, putting that history to one side, the present right now, the world of complexity and criticality, I mean, how do people describe this? And I'm going to lean towards the words of a very famous project manager right now, Dr. Harold Kerzner. And so, if you think about this is a project world of decentralised control with planning from the bottom up and in a collaborative environment. A collaborative environment with a far more open approach and access to information and decisions, together with the active encouragement for communications at and through all levels of the project team structure for greater efficiency and team member empowerment. But to counterbalance this, there is a need of the large-scale projects to require a much stronger form of centralised control and governance in order to manage the risk and coordinate the full programme of activity, perhaps with a regulatory overhead. To summarise these two worlds, the chart you see outlines the opposing focus of the traditional Project Management 1.0 and the future Project Management 2.0, looking at control, planning, the project environment, the project structure, access to information and the style of communication along with tool usage. But we need to understand that this is Project Management 2.0 and not true social project management. Dr. Kerzner himself goes on to comment, and again these are his words, this increase in collaboration leads to some people to believe that PM 2.0 is socialised project management. But he adds a word of caution. Although PM 2.0 has been reasonably successful on small projects, the question still remains as to whether PM 1.0 is better for large projects. The jury has not delivered a verdict yet. However, some of the publications that discuss how PM 1.0 and PM 2.0 can be combined offer promise. Perhaps in a few years we will be discussing PM 3.0. Only time will tell. So there we are. That's the past and that's the present. So I talk about the possible social future. In reality, I feel it's inevitable. You know, we have so quickly taken on board and enveloped in our daily lives the social media and social communication, social networking that's available to us. It's phenomenal what's happened in the past few years. But in the business world, in the project management world, it's been a little bit slower. So I think, you know, when I say possible, I think it is inevitable, but it's exactly how we shape that inevitable future. So let's start. I think there are two founding assumptions that we need to remember when we talk about the project social world. And they are as follows, that there is typically two worlds. One is the world of the large enterprise project that demands more centralized control, more centralized governance, more discipline and rigor perhaps, perhaps even with an element of regulatory control. And there are the smaller or less complex projects that are happening all the time and that thrive more on a decentralized control structure. But, and this is the important thing, but I believe both of those project worlds can benefit from social collaboration and stronger team empowerment. That's my belief. And so those are the foundations I'm going to put in place. That social collaboration, team empowerment is critical to support both of the worlds, of the whole range of projects that we as project managers undertake around the world today. Okay, so now before we move forward, I want you to try this for me. Go into Google or whatever is your preferred search engine and go and look for social project management or social project manager, it doesn't matter, and see what you get. When I did it, what you get is, for certainly the first 3 or 4 pages, you get a long list of tool providers, people who are out there who see the opportunity in this area, this business area, this project area. I'm not going to name them, but you'll see them when you go and search for them. So when I put together the research for the book, The Social Project Manager, and this kind of topic that I'm talking about right now, I decided the best approach was, if you can't beat them, join them. So I actually reached out to a number of these organisations and said, well, at this point in time, you appear to be the thought leaders in social project management, so tell me what your thoughts are. And a number of them did. So we're going to lean on some of their thoughts as we move through this series of videos. But it's also thoughts from project managers and PMO leaders and project directors, program managers, and people generally in the world of project management that I also reached out to, and we'll share some of those thoughts as well. So, if we look at the future episodes, what are we going to cover? Well, first of all, we're going to kick off with the world of social collaboration. And included in that, of course, is communication. Very important. It's all part and parcel of it. Then we're going to look at the world of the challenges. It's not easy to become a social project manager. So we're going to explore challenges. We're going to explore it from a number of aspects. The challenges of being a social project manager, the challenges of working and evolving a social project team, and kind of the challenges around that, around the project structure, the governance, the reporting, etc. And then we move on to, and I try and do this all the time, the practicalities. Some very clear advice on how to go about and become a successful social project manager. So both these two lead into the world of becoming a social project manager. And of course, all of this exists inside an organisation. So we will look at the socially mature organisation. What makes for a socially mature organisation? You know, to embark on this, the organisation has to support you in what you do. So it's no good just starting to do some of this stuff if there is not, as ever, the kind of sponsorship there and the fact that the organisation itself understands the value of the social world. And finally, I always like to make it as simple as possible. We'll summarise with the top 10 tips on being a successful social project manager. In the next episode, social collaboration, communication and the future of social project management.